Dear students, good morning to all. Today I am going to explain about the skill of introducing a lesson. First, I would like to give a brief introduction about the concept micro-teaching. Teaching as a group of skills was first taken up in teacher training program at the Stanford University 1963. A teaching skill has been defined as a group of teaching acts and or behaviors intended to facilitate pupils' learning directly or indirectly. So teaching, it is composed of very specific skills and we can master these skills through practice. ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ಅನುಬೋಧನೆ ಒಂದು ಕೌಶಲಗಳ ಗುಂಪು. ಇದನ್ನು ಬೋಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಬೋಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನಾವೀನ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ನವೀನ ಬೋಧನಾ ಪದ್ಧತಿ. ಒಂದು ತರಗತಿಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿಗದಿಪಡಿಸಿದ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪೇಕ್ಷಿತ ಉದ್ದೇಶಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಗುಣವಾಗಿ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರೂಪಿಸಲು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸುವ ಕೌಶಲಗಳ ಗುಂಪನ್ನು ಬೋಧನೆ ಎಂದು ಆಧುನಿಕ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತಾರೆ. So micro teaching is a way of learning teaching technique. So micro teaching is called scaled down teaching or miniaturized teaching. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಪದವನ್ನು ಅಣುಬೋಧನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಬೋಧನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ರೂಪ ಬೋಧನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿತಗೊಳಿಸಿದ ಬೋಧನೆ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಬಹುದು. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅನುಸರಿಸಬೇಕಾದಂತಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ನಿರ್ಣಾಯಕ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಈಗ ತಿಳಿಯೋಣ. ಸೊ in micro teaching program, first we take up a micro lesson that is limited to a single concept. Micro lesson means teaching a single concept, and here you are teaching to a small class that which consists of only 5 to 10 pupils. That is called micro class. So you are teaching micro lesson which is limited to a single concept, and you are teaching to a micro class which includes only 5 to 10 pupils, and here time duration is also meant for only 5 to 10 minutes. So here you are practicing only one particular skill at a time. So as a teacher, teacher trainee presents each skill by following micro teaching cycle. That is already explained to you by MK sir. So now come to the importance of skill of introducing a lesson. The pupils' learning of the new lesson or unit largely depends upon the way of the lesson we introduce. So it requires a skill on the part of the teacher to introduce a lesson or unit. So in order to arouse curiosity, to create interest and to motivate children towards day's lesson, we have to make use of this skill of introducing a lesson. With the help of this skill, teacher trainee is able to utilize previous knowledge or experiences of the pupils, and teacher make use of different techniques, devices, and explore previous knowledge of the pupils by using these techniques and devices. And by eliciting previous knowledge, teacher establishes link between previous knowledge and new knowledge. So it helps teacher to create learning environment which arouses curiosity and interest among children also about the day's lesson. ಸೊ ಪಾಠ ಪರಿಚಯಿಸುವ ಮೊದಲು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಲಿಕಾ ವಾತಾವರಣವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಲು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸುವಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಉತ್ತೇಜಿಸಲು ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರ ಪೂರ್ವ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೌಶಲವು ನಮಗೆ ನೆರವನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲು ಈ ಪೂರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನದ ಬಳಕೆ, ಸೂಕ್ತ ಸಾಧನಗಳ ಬಳಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಸಾಧನಗಳ ಬಳಕೆಯಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಹಿಂದಿನ ತರಗತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪಡೆದಿರುವಂತಹ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಅನುಭವ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಿನ ಕಲಿಸುವ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಸಂಬಂಧೀಕರಿಸಬೇಕು. Now we shall study the components of the skill of introducing a lesson. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಠ ಪರಿಚಯಿಸುವ ಕೌಶಲದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಘಟಕಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನದ ಬಳಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಡಿವೈಸ್, ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಪೂರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷಿಸಲು ನಾವು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕಲಿಕಾ ವಾತಾವರಣವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪ್ಯೂಪಿಲ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್, ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಬುಕ್ಸ್, media, etc. When you want to impart new knowledge to the pupils, it should be relevant to their previous knowledge. But you as a teacher should be aware of the previous knowledge of the pupils of a particular age group, grade, interest and experience of the pupils. So test the previous knowledge of the pupils. Teacher uses various techniques or devices. ಅಂದರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಸೂಕ್ತ ಸಾಧನಗಳನ್ನು, ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕೌಶಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. Such techniques and devices can be defined as use of examples, analogies, similarities. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಪೂರ್ವಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷಿಸಲು ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗಳನ್ನು, ಸಾದೃಶ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು, ಹೋಲಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನ. ಎರಡನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಕ್ವಶ್ಚನಿಂಗ್, ಪ್ರಶ್ನಿಸುವಿಕೆ. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪರಿಚಿತವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿದಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನ. ಮೂರನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಲೆಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬಿಂಗ್, ನೆರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ, ವಿವರಣೆ, ಸಾದರಪಡಿಸುವಿಕೆ, ಚಿತ್ರರೂಪಕ ನಿರೂಪಣೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. ನಂತರ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್, ಡ್ರಾಮಟೈಸೇಷನ್. ಕತೆ ಹೇಳುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಪಾತ್ರವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅಥವಾ ನಾಟಕೀಕರಣದ ಮೂಲಕವೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. ಬೈ ಶೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಡಿಯೋ ವಿಷುವಲ್ ಏಡ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಲೆಸನ್. ದೃಕ್ ಶ್ರವಣೋಪಕರಣ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಥ್ರೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಾತ್ಯಕ್ಷಿಕೆಯ ಮೂಲಕವೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. ನಂತರ ಮೊದಲನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಘಟಕಾಂಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ರಿಜಿಡ್ ರೂಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡಿವೈಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ some devices that is based on your knowledge and experiences. For example, out of these devices are what I have already explained, that is examples, similarities, audiovisual aids, storytelling, questioning, etc. Out of these devices you can make use of, for example, you are using examples, similarities, questioning at a time, or you can make use of even lecturing or storytelling. After the completion of lecturing or storytelling also you can make use of questioning techniques. So in this way you can combine, out of these 5 you can combine at least 3 to 4 devices at a time. It is possible. So that thing you need to remember. So first we shall see the importance of use of examples, analogies and similarities. So why we have to make use of this device? That is the question. So that means while introducing a lesson, you can give number of examples. So, but you remember that these examples should be relevant to the daily life experiences of the pupils. And also you can make use of these examples, similarities in teaching any subject. It is not confined to any one particular subject. That means it is applicable. You can make use of examples, similarities while teaching social science, while teaching mathematics, or while teaching any science subjects. So, but the one thing is that you remember, that is, while using examples or similarities or analogies, you must keep in mind that the age group, grade and the interest and the maturity level of the students should be remembered by teacher. So, and also that means here you are using similarities or analogies. So, almost the same meaning it applies. So, here we are using similarities means to make any comparison, or we are telling those similarities by comparing the past and the present, or you can make use of the similarities, questions related to similarities to make any to show the similarities between the objects or events or persons. But you think, and this technique actually also encourages the participation of the students, and also we can easily concentrate on testing or exploring the previous knowledge of the students also. And one more point that you remember, that generally eliciting examples, analogies or similarities is suited to all the subjects. So then next one is questioning. So this is the most commonly used device in the classroom, and also it is an effective technique to check the previous knowledge of the pupils. To elicit examples or to use analogy or similarities, there also questioning is essential. While lecturing, demonstration, experimentation also, or while telling any stories, it is also followed by questioning. So questioning is useful to recall the previous knowledge of the pupils and also to connect previous knowledge with the day's lesson. So naturally questioning creates interest among pupils, and also they become more attentive and also encourages the participation of the pupils. But one thing to keep in mind while using questioning technique, it should be grammatically, the questions that you are going to ask should be grammatically correct, and questions should be pronounced properly, and you should avoid asking vague questions. That means questions should never be asked in the form of statement. So it should be grammatically correct. And also there should be, while you are asking number of questions, these questions should create a link between one to another till you are taking the topic of the day's lesson. Next device I am going to explain, that is about lecturing, describing, narrating or illustrating. Out of these you can choose any one device. Upanyasa, Vivarane, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನರೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಾದರಪಡಿಸುವಿಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಚಿತ್ರ ನಿರೂಪಕದ ಮೂಲಕವೂ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ lecturing, describing, narration almost used in higher classes, but no doubt we can also make use of these techniques in secondary schools also. So pupils even though lecturing is one way teaching and also it discourages the involvement of the pupils, but where you are going to take lecturing means while when students are unfamiliar to that concept, and when you are going to teach a difficult concept, unfamiliar concept or any new concept, in such a situation you need to give some background information to the students to make clear meaning of that concept. You can make use of lecturing or describing. Then differences between these four terms, that means lecturing is usually defined as oral presentation intended to present information about any particular concept, event, facts, principles, laws or theories. In such cases you are taking that oral presentation called lecturing. Whereas describing is also one type of lecturing, but usually we use the term describing in writing or in writing expression. So describing means giving an account of something, details of an event or events in the order of their happening. So describing means, once again, it giving details of an event or events in the order of their happening. Then narration, sadarapadisuvikke, andre any kind of explaining or telling of something in an attractive manner. It is usually used in reference to storytelling. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸಾದರಪಡಿಸುವಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಟಿವಿ ಅಥವಾ ರೇಡಿಯೋಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಆನ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್. So illustrating means explaining something clearly by using examples or especially by using charts, pictures, photographs, etc. So this device also followed by questioning. Next one is storytelling. ಕತೆ ಹೇಳುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕವೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. This device is also helpful to introduce a lesson, but while using this storytelling method, teacher should remember that story should be related to the earlier events of the lesson, or it should be relevant to that day's topic. And naturally storytelling, why we are making use of this device means naturally it attracts the attention of the students and also they become more attentive and they show interest. So then next one is role playing or dramatization. Here also purpose of using this device is able to draw attention and to create interest among pupils. So in the role playing or in dramatization means here also you are presenting stories or any stories related to any events or about the biography of any historical person. So there, while presenting that events or any information, you are using some gestures. In dramatization or in role playing, teacher presents that information or story through body language or through gestures and also through action. So it also naturally attracts the pupils' attention and creates interest. So next one is use of audio visual aids. ದೃಕ್ ಶ್ರವಣೋಪಕರಣಗಳ ಬಳಕೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಪರಿಚಯಿಸಬಹುದು. This device is useful for teaching any subject. Teacher uses different types of audiovisual aids like charts, maps, pictures, photographs, graphs, and models, radio, tape recorder, and recently we are using mobile, computer, CD. By making use of any one of the aid, or you can make use of audio aids or visual aids or audio visual aids. You can create, here also you can create, and while showing these teaching aids, you can also ask a number of questions to the students. So naturally students show interest towards day's lesson. Next, the last one is experimentation or demonstration. Naturally, this device arouses curiosity among pupils. It attracts their attention, concentration, and while showing experiment or demonstration, teacher also at the same time he can ask questions also. Now it also encourages pupils' participation, and especially this is the most effective device in case of teaching science subjects. And also teacher while doing experiment or demonstration, teacher should keep in mind that the experiment that you have selected, it should be suitable to the age group, grade level and maturity level of the pupils. So dear students, so far we have learnt the components of introducing a lesson. Not in English.